First of all, his real name, according to Shay on 26, is Arslan Sadiq.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then, there was just a tweet from Arc System Works right now.
Like literally almost like 40 minutes ago or so.
Hi everyone, this is Daisuke Ishiwatari, the General Director of the Guilty Gear series. I hope you've enjoyed the reveal trailer of our latest title. I can't read all this, it's too long.
Do you want me to read this? There isn't much I can divulge at this time, but I'd just like to mention that this newest title is being developed with one goal in mind. To create a game that both new and existing players alike would want to get their hands on. The core concept this time is unlike those of the past titles. It is neither evolution nor returning to the roots, nor is it an addition or subtraction of elements to the existing title. What we're pursuing is a brand new experience for Guilty Gear. To achieve that goal, we've disassembled the current franchise into fragments and sifted out the pieces that make it unique and charismatic,
right.
using those pieces to have a complete reconstruction of the franchise.
Right.
What we're undertaking is a full
It kept going, huh?
Yeah, there's still more. There's still more.
Wow, that was literally half of it.
That was half of it, yeah. I have a lot more, so...
Is any of this anything?
It's a high-risk move on our part. However, we have an accumulation of the plentiful resources and experience, a clear vision of our ideals, and the excitement towards the future of a new possibility. Okay, alright. Although we don't have the past away, so this development team work for the future. Never new pursuits and process and journey. We'll love this. It's I mean, enjoy it. We're coming with you all. The game is a bridge that connects people. Something to come in this acceleration. But I firmly believe it's a please look forward to one further episodes. Director will give you the Daisuke. There you go.
Game is a bridge that connects people. It wants you to know.
Yeah.
Well, alright, sorry we didn't read that beforehand, so we know nonsense, but there's something from Daisuke Ishiwatari on, it claims, the new Guilty Gear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I agree with that claim, but that's what that tweet says.
What do you mean you don't agree with the claim?
The claim is that it's a few words on the new Guilty Gear.
Oh, I see. Okay,
I don't know if that's true.
Gotcha.
I think that might be stretching it a little bit. Alright, anyway. Thanks for letting us know, though. I appreciate that. So, some stuff happened. Let's talk about games.
All the new characters, a lot of them are out.
A lot of stuff is out. So, I guess kind of in order of the times that they were announced. Street Fighter V, Honda, Lucia, and Poison are out. I really like each of these characters. I think they are awesome.
I haven't had a chance to mess with them. However, everything that I've seen about them looks super cool. And I know a lot of some people don't share this opinion of mine, but I really hated Street Fighter 4's Poison. And I like this Poison so much more. I hated Fireball Uppercut Poison. Now, she's still not the fast pixie character that she was in the original Final Fight, but I just think her fighting with a whip and bombs and stuff like that is just that much more interesting to me.
I definitely agree with you. I think she's got a lot of interesting tools. She has Command Grab V-Trigger. Ooh.
Oh, she has a command grab V-trigger.
She does, and she has a close command grab and a far command grab. It's like Conra command grab. It's far. You know, we'll see how that goes, but I think that seems very interesting. Lucia she seems like a really good character. She just has like everything. She just has like all the things that you need to be a good character.
A lot of people I heard was saying that she seemed okay. That
really?
Honda seems the best out of all of them. Yeah.
Wow, interesting. For me, I mean, I think Honda's very good too, but I feel like Lucia just has like all like fast buttons, good damage, good space control, good normals, good setups, good pressure, yada yada. I just feel like she's got all the stuff. Honda is the character that I am most interested in. He at the same time as he exists in Street Fighter V, he also feels like a defensive powerhouse. So he's definitely not like ST Honda, right? No, that won't exist again. But in the context of SF5, I think he's a very good character at slowing it down and playing this like Honda-style game of excellent anti-airs, good wall. He's a wall.
Right.
And also really good pressure.
Okay.
I mean, he has hands are -2, +1, and +2. EX hands are -2. Everything's safe. EX butt slam is plus.
Only if it hits cross up, right?
If it does not hit cross up.
If it does not hit cross up, it's plus. Right. Okay.
He has good normals. They have really good hitboxes on them. He's just like fun. Like he's. I played against Dr. Stance Geef last night.
Okay.
I went over to those guys and played. and it felt like a Honda Geef matchup to me, like in an SF5 context where it's not going to be like ST Honda Geef,
right.
I mean,
which
that
sucks for the Geef.
Yeah,
right,
definitely.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Honda has Fierce and Roundhouse are great anti-airs. Fierce Headbutt and EX Headbutt are excellent anti-airs.
Okay.
He can walk forward and do hands.
Fierce is the good headbutt?
Fierce
is the anti-air headbutt, not the light one?
No.
That's weird, because the light one's the one that's more negative, so I thought they would make that one.
No, light is less negative.
I thought light was the -4 one,
Light
right?
is -4.
Oh, is the Fierce one more than
Correct.
-4? Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
V-Trigger 1 is an armor/guard break, so if you need more defense, then this is yet another way to anti-air people for easily done. And V-Trigger 2 is a command grab that's Meat Squasher, basically. So you can combo into Meat Squasher, like 100 hands into V-Trigger for the corner from wherever, or just do it raw.
Right.
So he's got a lot of, I feel, good damage, good buttons, good standing defense. If he gets knocked down, it's like G. Or maybe it's worse. Maybe it's Abigail. He's Abigail.
Okay.
Where nothing is like instantly armored or invincible. He doesn't have fast buttons. He has a 4-frame short and a 5-frame jab, just like Abigail as well. So, is that a death knell? I don't think so.
I mean, that's every character in this game, right?
So Lucia just came out and she has like 3-frame and EX invincible moves.
Right.
But that's part of why I think
characters
she's
gotta
good.
have some of them, right? But I mean, a lot of characters have that 3-frame and an EX,
Sure.
right? A lot of characters have that.
Yeah,
so.
It doesn't mean that you're going to be good or not good. I feel like there's more to it than that.
Right.
So I like him a lot. I played him all night last night. Just doing hands pressure is cool. Because like hands pressure into +2, and then like now it's your turn to move again or whatever is cool.
Okay.
Stand Fierce is cancelable into hands.
Yeah. I mean, also one thing I'll say is I think aesthetically they all look good.
I agree with you.
Like there's no. I mean, I've gotten used to Blanca. I think Blanca is okay now, but Sakura, I can never get over Sakura for some reason. Like that character's never gonna look good to me.
Oh yeah.
No matter how often I see her, her animations just look terrible. But I think Honda looks cool. My only complaint about it is I really wish his super left you in the corner, because he does that thing where he hits you in the face and it looks like he smashes your head into a corner, but you always end up in the middle of the screen. You're always in the middle of the stage, and there's something about that disconnect that kind of messes me up. Like, it's weird. Like, it always looks like he smashes your head into a wall, because you're like, BAM! And then you're in the middle. Like, even if you started in the corner, you end up in the middle. It's really, really weird to me.
I can see that being jarring.
But outside of that, I think they all look cool. I think Poison looks cool, I love the new punk hair,
great.
by the way.
I agree with you,
love that new punk hair. I think Lucia's cool. I love her voice, by the way. I love the Boston accent, and I just feel like they did a good job giving them personality.
She's supposed to be New Yorican, apparently.
Oh,
I feel like it sounds like Boston to me too, but then I saw a tweet by the voice actor, who apparently is Puerto Rican from New York.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know why they went with like, "You want a cup of coffee?" Like, I don't know what that's about, but there it is.
New Yorican? Is that what you called it?
Yeah.
Is that what it's referred to as? New Yorican?
Yeah, like Puerto Ricans living in New York, yeah.
You want some coffee? Yeah, exactly. But it's still cool. It's still really cool.
I agree, yeah.
I think the three characters look super cool. I'm probably going to mess with them on stream either tomorrow.
Yeah, that's just what the voice actor said, to be clear. I don't know if that's supposed to be, like, the actual lore.
Right.
I don't know, but I guess in the lore, maybe does New York even exist?
Right, yeah.
Whatever.
It's Metro City, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. That's what it is, the Metro City accent.
Right, yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, man, that's a great way to solve this conundrum.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Just a made-up accent, everybody.
I don't know, they look cool to me.
I really liked it. It was a lot of fun playing with the guys last night, because we're all... A couple was trying to learn Honda, a couple of Lucia, one Poison.
Cool.
So
Okay.
it was cool.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of fun.
Like I said, I can't wait to mess with them. I'll probably test them out tomorrow on
Makes
stream
sense.
and find out how they play. So
in MK11, as we said, Nightwolf, we had a chance to use.
he's not out yet.
He is not out yet, but I guess we already talked about him.
Yeah.
Okay, we talked about Nightwolf. We're both excited about it.
No, actually, we told people to go watch the YouTube video.
Oh, that's true, actually,
to hear
yeah.
what we felt about him.
I really like his variation, too, because it's the command grab one. He has his reflect turns into a teleport on Amplify. I think he's got a lot of good buttons. He seems like a kind of character that I would like to use.
Okay.
He'll be out next week. However, there's a patch that's already out.
Yes. Yes, and they have definitely done a good job of restraint.
First of all, yeah, I really appreciate the fact that this is not a big change. Some changes for sure, but also that they waited until after Evo.
Yeah, of
right
course.
after Evo, like literally just a couple of days after
Right,
Evo.
yeah.
So that's so cool. Injustice 2 is pretty hands off as well. So it's been now the last couple of games that they've been mostly hands off on the patching, which I prefer. I think that's really cool. Lets it breathe a little bit, lets us find stuff. I'm really happy about that. And then also to time it like so precisely, like right now. Awesome job. Really happy about that. So I would say that the big winners are IMO, Devora, and Shao Kahn, and then Frost and Collector, probably right beyond that.
Okay. Well, that sounds like the right group of people.
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly, yeah. They gave Devora some nice stuff. Shao's forward 2 string turns into a plus string at the plus button at the end now, rather than being minus. It was negative before, now it's plus, which is awesome. Frost got a bunch of button changes. Collector got some new stuff.
Yeah, I saw your tweet about how Devora's change list was like going on forever.
Dude, she got a lot of stuff, yeah. But I think that's really cool. And then there were some minor buffs for, several characters. Quite a good number of the cast. But again, all of them, or most of them, like on the lower end. They did buff Kung Lao Orbital Hat.
Yeah, but it's not even, I feel like, super
It's
significant.
not a super big change.
Yeah,
no, you're right.
I just know that on hit, the Orbital Hat thing, you're supposed to link out of it. It was actually really hard to do. And I think they just made it easier now. So, and, I mean, I guess some people play Orbital Hat, but I still think the other one is better. So, I still think the other one's better. So,
as far as significant nerfs, I would say the biggest are probably Sonya, Shang, and Scorpion IMO.
So what is Sonya lost the launch on?
She lost significant damage. Yeah. So it's both now that if you dash cancel the fireball in a combo, it does more scaling, and also that the launcher that comes at the end of that like does way less damage.
Okay.
Or it's like you can't pop up anymore, but it does slightly more damage itself. I think it's technically what it is.
Okay, gotcha.
So there's a change like that. I mean, look, she was very good, and she did a lot of damage. And same with Jackie, who got nerfs. Like, she was very good, did a lot of damage. They still will do damage, and they have all of their tools intact otherwise.
And Cassie obviously was very good as well. She got a little damage.
A little bit.
As well. Health nerf.
Yeah.
That's crazy, because everybody was 1,000, right? These health nerf is actually new, isn't it?
This is the first time that Mortal Kombat has not had everybody with the same life
didn't
bar.
somebody get 1050 as well?
So I believe Shao got 1050 and Kodo got 1100.
Oh, really?
If I recall correctly.
Okay.
I know you're in here, Paulo. Let me know if I'm wrong. They nerfed Shang's Upskull's damage. I don't really know why, because I feel like Upskulls are already kind of hard to place correctly, but okay. And then Scorpion's teleport's a high instead of a mid.
I mean, that's the way it was in 10 or 9?
Oh, yeah, it's been like that.
So, I mean, it's still kind of a call-out. You're still going to use it to punish, like, things. So if they throw a fireball, you can punish it. So they still can't throw the fireball. Now you can't just be a spaz and throw it out all over the place. You know what I mean? And like I said, I was never a crazy teleporting Scorpion anyway. So I don't really think it's as big a deal as a lot of people think it is.
I think it doesn't kill him. I just think it's unnecessary is all. Like, a lot of people think he's not top 5 anyway, or wasn't.
He wasn't even in top 8 at Evo,
No. And I don't think he was in top 8 at CEO either. So, I don't know if it was necessary, but I don't think it kills him either. Yeah. They left Baraka and Jax, like, alone. Great. Good call.
Spines.
They're great. They're good characters who don't really need changes. I think that's very... I really like that. I like that they're willing to do that. They did that with Injustice, too, as well. There are some characters that were almost unchanged from launch until the end of the game's life. That's great. I'm really happy about that. I think that's cool. Then the characters who I feel like didn't get enough, or like... Oh, yeah, Cassie, Aaron, and Geras, slight nerfs. They're fine. I thought that they would do more for Kotal Khan. And I thought they would do more for Ripper Kano, Command Grab Kano.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Dirtbag Kano got some cool stuff, the poison and whatever, but Kotal and Command Grab Kotal and Command Grab Kano, I felt, were kind of untouched. And I thought that they would probably need more. But I don't know. I guess we'll see how it plays out. Anyway, again, I really like a lot of the changes. I'm glad that it wasn't a big change. I'm really excited to play against Shao Kahn and Dvora players now, because I already thought that Shao was pretty good, and now I think he's going to be really good. and I haven't played against Devora in my life. I don't know what she does.
I know, right? I'm gonna run into her and just be like,
yeah. I don't know
like I
what
said,
you're doing.
when I was doing the Scorpion video that I had, I was like, okay, let me make Devora punish Scorpion. And I was like, what does she even do? I don't even know what her punishes are.
They sped up a lot of buttons. They made hitboxes better. They helped her out.
Yeah, it sounds like some of her specials combo a little bit easier because they start up faster and stuff like that. So, but again, it's great to see that they didn't do much to it. You know what I mean?
Highly agree.
Yeah, I'm hoping when Sam's Show patch comes out soon that they don't go crazy on that one too.
Sure.
I don't want to see like Genjuro going like, Genjuro lost his legs.
Yeah,
we took off one of Genjuro's arms because like I'm just hoping they don't do that because honestly, as good as Genjuro was, like I said, the only nerves I would give him is like make his uppercut so it's easier to punish on block. Make his fireball when it bounces off of you in the front. It's not. He can't do fireball point blank into uppercut and there's like nothing you can do, you know what I mean? Kind of thing like that. So, small things like that. So
I can't believe they didn't give Baraka an amplified spines.
What are you guys doing? So he can shoot the whole screen?
First of all, he should be able to shoot the whole screen.
He just has gravity squeeze whenever he wants. Gravity squeeze, gravity squeeze, yeah. And it should pop you up towards him. So he can combo off of it at any range.
Of course.
Absolutely.
He can already do mid-screen spines launch into sweep against the big bodies, but why not against everybody else? Huh? Why can't you help me out with your hitboxes? Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I read that same thing too. The Samsung director says he doesn't think the balance of the game needs to be completely even. That it's okay to have a little bit of disparity in there. I mean, I understand that mentality from a, hey, let's make a fun game kind of point of view, but when you're making a game that's going to try to be played in circuits and stuff like that, that changes it, right? Like, if there was no tournaments and no circuits and we were all just playing with our friends, absolutely. You know what I mean? I have no problem with that. In fact, a lot of the best games out there are unbalanced messes, and that's one of the reasons why, because it's fun beating up on top-tier characters with low-tier characters and stuff like that, right? But we're not in that environment anymore. If he wants it to be a staple at an FGC event, we can't have 6 out of 8 Genjuros, 4 out of 8 Genjuros. You know what I mean?
I think you're right.
It's just going to hurt your game. So
I think you're right. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Samurai Showdown, though, Rimururu is now out and playable.
I messed with her a little bit. Olaf and Corey got to play with her and play against each other. So far, they're not super wowed by her. Like, it doesn't seem like she's going to be super good. I was surprised at kind of how slow her buttons are, but it really all just depends. She has a very interesting mechanic where she can just place an ice platform in the sky and jump off of it. So basically, at the height of her jump, if you hit down on any button, she goes ping, and she sits on a platform up there. And then you can jump off of it, and it's a lower jump, and then the thing drops, and it can drop on people's heads.
She actually has Captain Cold's gear move from Injustice 2.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool.
But the craziest thing about it is she can Kara her universal overhead into it, and she can Kara a backdash into it. Yeah, so you can actually do universal overhead platform and then jump, and now your jump is a lower jump because the double jump is a shorter jump. Right? So you can actually just plant the platform here and then do a lower jump at people. It just takes time because you got to jump up and go and then jump off of it, right? So that's kind of the thing. But some of the moves that she has, I'm not sure how they expect you to use them and stuff like that. So it's interesting. I'm really, really interested on how she's going to play and if she's going to be good. But I feel like if someone can master the platforming stuff in really interesting ways and find some cool setups off of it, she has some woo potential for some dirty tricks where she can throw an ice over your head, and if you stab her, she bursts you, and then you hit the ice on the ground and slide, and then she can Eason you. She's got like little tricks like that, and so I'm curious to see how she's going to be. But also, it's hard to even talk about it knowing that the game is going to get patched very soon. Right. I don't expect Rimu to change, but if everybody else changes, it's going to change the complexion of how everything is.
Naturally. That's cool. That sounds interesting, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll see how she goes.
Cassandra in SC6?
Yes, Cassandra. I messed with her just a tiny bit, just to see what she was able to do. Seems like a really interesting character because, there's like Yoshimitsu has EX moves that use part of his meter, and he has moves that can steal meter and stuff like that. So that's a resource kind of thing. There's not any other characters really who have like EX moves. they made her so that her resources are guard meter. So basically, she has moves that when she just does them, they're like plus on block, but she just drains her own guard meter.
Can she guard break herself?
I don't think so.
You have to actually
hit
her?
Yeah,
Okay.
you still have to hit her. So she just basically has like this kick that's really plus on block that she gets frame advantage, but it just hurts her guard meter.
That's a cool idea.
Then she has this ability to go into this powered up mode, like a lot of people in Soul Calibur can do.
Yeah.
And when she gets powered up, she has access to these moves that are called Holy Smite, and they all do something different depending on what it is. Like she has a move that puts you into like a throw guess. But if she has the charge up activated, she has an untechable version that blows up the opponent, but also does damage to herself. You know,
Interesting.
She has a move that drains her guard meter that she throws her shield out and it pulls you in, and it makes her. She's not plus,
Okay.
but she's minus and safe that she can guard impact A.
Okay, cool.
So it's like perfect timing. You can do that, and she has like 90 things that have auto GIs in her moves.
Interesting.
So you can just hit like forward, whatever, and she auto GIs a bunch of stuff. But she's hurting her guard meter the whole time she's doing that. If you build up that power up, every time you use her Holy Smite, it actually gives her guard meter back. So basically, when you're playing her, you're kind of managing like.
Sure.
I need to hit you with this move to build up this power up. I think it's divine something or other.
Okay.
And if you just keep doing these broken moves but never do that and power up so you can unleash Holy Smite. I mean, she has a Holy Smite that just shoots a lightning bolt from the sky, like, and just tries to hit you with it. But, like, if you use those moves, you cure your guard meter.
Okay.
So they literally turn her guard meter
awesome.
into a resource. And it's really kind of interesting.
That is actually super cool.
It's actually Divine Force, that's what it's called. Yeah, so it's actually kind of neat.
That's cool.
So, I don't know.
Was she like that before? No, right?
I have no idea.
That sounds awesome. I really like that idea.
Yeah, but otherwise, from the description in the game itself, she's supposed to be very fast and offensive.
Yeah,
aggressive.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so seems kind of cool.
That definitely sounds cool.
Yeah.
You got Janemba out for Dragon Ball Fighters.
Right. And
Talk to me, James.
I mean, I just saw someone in the chat saying that he's really cool, he's really fun, but he still plays like the other 30 characters in the game.
Well, okay.
But, and again, I don't want to be too down on Dragon Ball because I always feel bad because I know there's a lot of Dragon Ball fans watching on here. So I don't really
Personally,
have anything.
that's something I always stay away from.
Of course. Of course. So I'm not going to say much about
I haven't tried him either. I did watch some people do some stuff. He's got some teleports that seem interesting, but that's all I got for you. I hope you're enjoying him. What do you think about Hero in Smash?
I heard he has a lot of randomization. It's like when you bring up the
Yes.
menu, what's in the menu is random or something like that?
Right. That's my understanding, is that pressing the menu then gives you 4 options which are randomly there, and you have to speed read to see which one you want. And even within that, then he can counter hit or not, or critical hit maybe is what it's called, or not. And so critical hit can do way more damage. But some of the things, it's not all things that help him even. Like, one thing is that he slows way down.
Oh, jeez.
And so you get to freely juggle him.
I mean, someone said the very first match they played with him was like, fight! And he jumped down, activated the menu, and the other guy died. Like, that was the very first game he ever played. It was just very fortunate RNG.
Right.
Obviously, that can happen in a tournament.
In a tournament, I saw a hero versus hero.
Oh, okay.
Where one hero's thing made him do this slowdown effect, so he was just susceptible to anything. And the other one got a giant. So he became the giant version of himself. And then he charged up his smash or whatever, and he got critical hit on that. So it did 90% damage, and the guy died. That was round start. So there's... Is this what you're showing us right now? Is this the video that I'm describing?
Oh, that sucks.
Let me see.
I heard Leffen put out a petition to ban this character already or something like that.
Oh, this is the one. Yo, you should put this on the internet. This is great.
All right.
This is great.
Oh, boy.
What a video game character, man. Oh, jeez.
So what's your opinion on the character?
I mean, what can you do? You can't ban it. Well, I think
You can ban the character.
Ban it.
You can
Fair
absolutely
enough.
ban the character.
You can do whatever you want, I guess.
Yeah.
I think that you probably shouldn't, but it's dumb. I think it's dumb.
3, 2, 1, go!
And that was it! Tournament match.
3, 2, 1, go!
So they both pick Hocus Pocus. And it just does the thing.
And he dodged and then he's there.
95%.
Okay.
95%. So, right, like I was saying, the odds of this happening are very low. The list of things is 4, and first of all, it's unlikely that you get the Hocus Pocus. And then if you do, it's unlikely that these two things happen. And then even if that happens, it's unlikely that you then get a critical hit.
Right.
It's a very unlikely situation. But there it is. It happened. It could have happened last weekend at Evo Grand Finals
if Hero
he
was
were
there. Yeah,
It
if he was legal.
It
Yeah.
could have.
Oh man. I mean, in the end too, it's still just one game, right? I mean, it's 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5.
It's not exactly Faust, I think, because it's
Faust's randomness is balanced within itself. You know what I mean? Like, it's not to the point where it's like a free kill kind of
It's
thing.
not, yeah.
Right.
And Faust, just as a character, is just, he's got a lot of other stuff. I mean, I guess Hero does too. It's just unlikely that this will come up, but it can. I think it's personally, like, genius that Sakurai is so upset that Smash players have banned items that he just created a character that gets items constantly.
I mean,
What a surreptitious little way to just be like, oh yeah, turn off items, sure, here you go.
how mad do people
Hocus
get when they
Pocus.
get nined by Game & Watch's hammer?
I mean, I've seen that happen.
right. Do
it's
they
very
get
rare.
mad? Do they get mad?
Also, I don't think you use that very often.
Right, but I mean, if it does, like, let's say someone's behind and they're like, shoot, we're both last stock, he's at like 5 and I'm at like 90 something. I'm just going to go for this Hail Mary
Maybe.
and it works, you know?
Yeah, I've seen it happen. It's just pretty rare. Like, sometimes Peach pulls
Spike.
like a sword.
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah,
Like,
or Stitch Face.
yeah. Like, sometimes weird things happen, but that's rare. And pretty limited in circumstance and in scope. And for this character, that's a fundamental part of how he plays. Because even if you don't get the crazy stuff, you're still, like, constantly managing the RNG, and there's a lot of things that can happen. So, I don't know. I think I would not ban him, but I would get, for a scene that doesn't like randomness, I get why you might.
Right. I mean, until Hero actually wins a tournament because he randoms his way all the way to grand finals, like, I feel like if a Hero won a tournament, it's going to be less that he randomed his way up there and more
Of
just
course.
that the guy was good.
Of
and
course.
then in the grand finals, maybe one time something went his way and it was great. But there's no way he would have got there by being lucky with Hero constantly. You know what I mean? Unless he just took that stupid potion that Harry Potter took. That I don't know why Voldemort wouldn't be going after that potion instead of all the other crap that he's going for,
Wait, what was
or the
the
Time Turner, or the Invisibility Cloak. Because clearly all these things would have been more powerful for Voldemort to go after. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. Now, there was a potion that he took that made it so that all luck would go his way the whole entire time.
Right.
I mean, can you imagine if Voldemort got a hold of that, he drank it and was like, I'm going to go kill Harry Potter. And then that would have been it. Like,
Right.
I need to find Harry Potter. Open the door. Hey, Harry Potter. You know? Like, why wouldn't he go after that? That should have been what he should, or even Hermione's little time turner thing. Because if I could be like, well, I messed up, let me go back in time.
Yeah.
Now there's 2 Voldemorts and I can kill everybody. Anyways, I still like Harry Potter. Anyway.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I agree with you. I still like it.
Yeah.
You know, people play Quidditch. You heard about this phenomenon? Not obviously in magical
But
brooms.
do they run around on the field with a broom and they try to like throw?
They try to like get the snitch or whatever.
And they actually like try to beat each other. Like, where's the snitch? Like,
I
the
think
snitch
it's a
can't
person.
fly.
I think it's a neutral person. If I recall correctly. I think it's just a neutral person who's running around. Anyway, it's obviously a terrible game made by somebody with no understanding of game rules. Right? Like, she definitely has never played a game before in her life.
I know, right?
She was like, "What are sports?" And he comes up with this, but it's still good.
Right. Yeah.
I still like Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
cool.
fun world to
Yeah.
be in. So, okay.
All right, is that it for characters?
I mean,
Jill is out
if
in
it's
Tepid.
actually a person, then and everyone's chasing after him, that would definitely be Snitches Get Stitches.
Oh, wow. Nice work.
Anyways, Teppen Jill is out. Very interesting character. Very different. And she has... Her first level super seems really good.
What does she do?
So basically, her whole idea is that she introduced the Explore mechanic.
Okay.
Which basically you go and look for ammo or weapons or something like that, and they show up in your EX pocket. So you have a card that says Explore for ammo. So you play it, and then an ammo will show up in your EX pocket, which gives one of your units 2 damage.
Okay.
Right, 2 extra hit damage. Yeah. Right. She has one that, depending on how many times you've explored, that when you play the card, it'll do more damage and stuff like that. But then her super, her level 1 is her rocket launcher, her first level's unique talent. And when you use it, she pulls out a rocket launcher, and that shows up in your EX pocket. And it does 10 damage to a unit, but it's piercing. Okay. So if you have somebody with 1 damage left and you play it on them, it takes 3 to play. It's 3 MP to play.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, you just do 9 damage to the other person.
Like, pretty good.
It's like you will that guy down to like 1 damage, and you're like, rocket launcher, and then pow, 9 damage to the enemy, and there's like nothing they can do about it. I heard it gets countered by shields, but again, countering doesn't really work in this game because you're going in with your deck, and then you're like playing it, and then the other guy goes, Jill. Oh God, Jill! I don't have a shield deck. You know what I mean? And then you're dead. Basically.
Well, I mean, in competitive play, you like have ideas about what's right, bring out and
exactly. You'd have to have that kind of.
It's a little
knowledge.
bit more detailed.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
But it does seem good.
Okay, yeah. I think two twos is right. It's a random enemy who it hits, but a lot of times when I'm playing, there's only 1 guy on the field. Like I make sure there's only 1 enemy on the field, and then
you would save it for that.
Yeah.
But it hangs out in the EX pocket, not in like the main. Hand?
Yeah, it just hangs out in the EX pocket, so it never takes up any space.
Right.
Like that.
Can you have more than 1?
If you activate it twice, yeah, but then you have to build 36, I think it is. I think it's 18 to do it or something like that. So
cool.
It actually seems pretty good. So.
Oh, that sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah. But outside of that, she didn't really introduce any new mechanics or anything like that, so. Okay.
Yeah, I hear you, Master PPV. It does seem like Hero has a lot of RNG.
No, Kitty, stop.
I hear you. I would get why people wouldn't want to play with that
no,
or against
Kitty,
that.
Do not chew on that. That is expensive. That costs a lot of money. Do not chew on that.
I don't know if that seems better than Ryu's, because Ryu's at least you can target, right? You just
yeah.
You know who you're attacking.
Yeah, but you can't attack the hero.
Right.
Right? So that's the thing.
That's cool. Do you want to shoot the card or you want to shoot the face? It's up to you.
What?
What?
Shoot the card or shoot the face?
Oh, face meaning like the player, like the character.
Oh, okay.
Like to take down his health.
Is that what it's normally referred to as in card games? Oh, okay.
Oh, well, yeah. Not all the time. But depends on the game. Yeah, the Street Fighter League voting finished.
Yes.
And this was before
Evo.
We talked about it very briefly last week, but we were mostly talking about Evo, so we really didn't spend that much time on it. Sherry, Guilty, Automatic, and Tommy Two-Step all qualified, but that was in kind of a screw-up situation where the voting ended 1 hour too early, and that meant that there were no chances for these Spirit Bombs that may have been there for Arturo and for Sykes, who were both right there in the running. You know,
who both apparently had like a last hour ploy.
Exactly, yeah, that was their game plan apparently. Right. So for them, that is definitely a big loss. You know, to be on Street Fighter League seems like a very sought after thing, right? I thought it went great in season 1, and you know, it may give you new opportunities, and yeah, I definitely get why you would really want to be on there. So very unfortunate for them that it accidentally ended 1 hour early, just a Smash GG mix-up.
Yeah.
So then Capcom had to decide what to do, whether to let it be open for another hour or a day or whatever it is, and they just decided to let it stay as is because they didn't think that it wasn't going to be fair. It just, unfortunately, error happened, big bummer,
Right.
But there's no like great solution to that. So,
Right.
I understand why they would.
Because you can't even just reopen it for 1 hour and stop. Because then it's like everybody has to be ready for it because everybody was talking about it. There's all this momentum. Now, if you do that, lots of people are going to be like, whatever at this point. You know?
I mean, maybe in addition to that, the value of like a spirit bomb is that people don't know what's coming.
Right.
The whole value of it.
Mm-hmm,
so in this situation where there were one more hour, everybody would think, well, I got to get the spirit bomb right now. It has to happen. I have to have it set. So everybody, it's just a totally different dynamic. It's a different dynamic. Mm-hmm. So I get why they would just keep it as it was.
Basically sniping on eBay again, basically,
right.
That whole strategy. And so.
Yeah. So that sucks, but I get it. I'm still looking forward to Street Fighter League. Mm-hmm. I thought it was great last time. So.
Should be a lot of fun.
The Esports Festival Hong Kong was actually removed from the CPT due to civic unrest. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of stuff going on in Hong Kong. There are protests with the government and extradition treaties being considered and all sorts of stuff's going on. So, they decided to just cancel it. Now, I don't think that this means that there's going to be another one.
No.
It's just canceled.
It doesn't sound like they're replacing it.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Premiere event, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a bummer that they're not replacing it. Maybe just logistically it wouldn't work. I don't know. Maybe there's not another option for it. But from a Asian CPT perspective, this will mean fewer points to try to get into Capcom Cup for the majority of players who would be there, which would probably be East Asian players. Mm-hmm. So it kind of hurts the scene.
So the event might still be happening, according to Guhak?
Correct.
Okay. The event is happening.
In fact, the word from Capcom says that if the tournament includes the Street Fighter V Arcade Edition tournament, the finalist will not be awarded Capcom Pro Tour points. Oh. So they're
not trying to make it.
They don't want to be involved.
Right. Yeah. They don't want to make someone fly out there and then something happens or other.
Yeah, exactly. First off, I hope people in Hong Kong end up in a good spot here.
Of course, of course.
A lot of bad potential outcomes, but definitely best wishes. On top of that, from a lawyer's perspective, every time there's a contract that's like this, I have tried to get in something that's called a force majeure clause, which basically means that there are situations in which the contract would not be binding.
Okay.
So if there's a giant earthquake, then you don't have to do whatever the contract says because your house got knocked down, and so that's would be absurd to expect you to do the thing. Yeah. And one of the things that's often included is civic unrest and terrorism and acts of government and this sort of thing.
Right.
I've never actually seen it used, but
here we are.
And I hope that I don't know what the legal system's like in Hong Kong. I guess it's British derived, but I would assume that there's something that could be there for that's like a force majeure clause, and I hope that these organizers had something like that because that could really bite them in the butt if they don't. Okay, I think that's interesting.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. So,
yeah, definitely, it sucks out there. Super Arcade will be closing down at the end of September.
Yeah. And pretty much no real any way to prevent that at this point.
Yeah, I mean, from what he said on Twitter, it sounded like that's a for sure thing.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to keep trying to do this anymore because it's just not working. He's not making any money off of this place.
Right.
Probably still losing money off of it. So
seems likely.
I heard he's trying to I don't know if he's trying to sell the business or if he's just going to liquidate the assets or what's going to happen. But it just didn't work out for him,
That's Watson. Yes, yeah. Mike Watson's place. There was a whole saga involved. The original Super Arcade was their landlord asked for an insane rent.
Right after he finished the Kickstarter and renovated everything, so the landlord was like, now he's kind of stuck because he spent all this money. Yeah. Let's raise his rent. And Watson was like, F you, you can't force me. So he left. And then he tried to find another spot, but it took so long.
Years.
Yeah.
2-3 years?
And by then, Esports Arena had already been established as a new home for Wednesday night fights. There was, Dropkick Tuesdays got added, or Dropkick Mondays or whatever, Tuesdays. And, all these other scenes popped up already. And so by that point, Watson kind of lost the, power to, or just the influence to get people to start setting up a lot of stuff there.
That's true. Yeah, and he no longer had Level Up streaming, and that was a huge part of why people watched Wednesday Night Fights, was that it was a big streaming platform. And he had to build his own up, which is very difficult to do. So, yeah, I mean, it sucks. We told him.
Yeah.
Not just us. It's very difficult to run that kind of business.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like it's doable anymore.
And the hardest thing about it was, honestly,
I wish it worked out.
He was trying to challenge Wednesday Night Fights. He ran his Street Fighters on Wednesdays initially, as opposed to just running it on another day, and trying to keep them as separate things. And it's just unfortunate because he built it to be half esports, half arcade. The arcade side actually did better than the esports side of everything. Shout out to the Smash community there, because we went there one weekend to play Samurai Showdown, and a bunch of people showed up to play Sam Show. There was a big old Smash tournament going on there. The Smash guys were very supportive and everything like that, but just their Tekken tournaments weren't drawing very many people. They got no one for Street Fighter, et cetera, et cetera. It was just tough. And I think the location of it was a little awkward too, because it was more on the north end. So instead of being kind of a little more centered to everybody, it was more like this, because really north of Azusa and all that stuff like that is just mountains, right? Like there's nothing up there.
The San
so
Bernardino
everyone
Mountains.
is coming this way, as opposed to kind of coming this way to it. Like you can get a little bit more draw. So I just really... Yeah, Sherry did a bunch of work.
Yeah, Nerd Josh did a bunch of stuff as
Nerd
well.
Josh
They
did a
definitely
bunch of
gave their
stuff.
all, man. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I've only been there once. It sucks. I mean, as I've talked about, I haven't wanted to go to locals in a long time. I specifically have avoided that.
Right.
Until, literally the last 2-3 months. So I was kind of hoping that I would be able to go there, but there's, I get it.
Right.
There's definitely more important things. So if it's a financial liability, if it's not keeping up, you got to look out for your family and yourself. And yeah, definitely do that. He did have a streaming channel. I've watched it, but
he just didn't get a lot of people.
There
because streaming. I always say streaming is kind of like online dating right now. It's just like back in the day when it was a brand new thing. You knew everybody on there was serious, and it was very Nowadays, it's just like everybody's fighting for the same space.
Exactly.
Right?
It's a totally different situation.
Right.
When Spooky, Level Up, and I Play Winner were starting, that was it. and not even just for fighting games, just the number of channels, tiny percentage of what it is today. There just weren't that many fish in the sea.
Right.
So it was, although difficult for other reasons, in terms of the share that you could get quickly of viewership, much more doable.
Right.
Now it is not at all like that. Very difficult to do. So that sucks. There are barcades out there. Round one is different. I mean, I feel like there were different ways to run the arcade. Again, it's stuff that he wanted to do it his own way, as he often said. So. I'm sorry that it didn't work out for sure.
Yeah. I hope he can find something to do. I hope he can find a new business to run, because he put a lot of stuff into this, and even back before he created it. And I know, I can't even remember if I called it this on stream ever, but it really was his white whale at one point in time.
I think that's a good way to put it.
It really was. It's just he just had to make it and beat other people with it. And it just didn't work out for him, and eventually you go down with the whale, right? And it's an unfortunate situation. So, but I really hope he can find something to do that's successful.
Me too. I'm definitely rooting for that guy, but and you can't. The Super Arcade and Wednesday Night Fights and Run Back was a particular time with particular people, and you just really can't recapture that again.
Yeah, and honestly, Watson also lost a very powerful resource when Mondo moved to the Philippines.
Totally.
Because Mondo was basically the guy at Super Arcade streaming every day, doing stuff with Watson the whole entire time, setting up events, and his stream was very widely viewed, etc., etc. And when he went to the Philippines to go work for XSplit, it was just a really unfortunate set of circumstances that really just kind of hurt Watson's chances to succeed in this.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I really hope he can find something to do after this, because I don't know what his plans are at this point in time. But you know, if he disappears from the FGC, I don't know. If he stays in some sort of gaming capacity, you know, even if not, like, I'm hoping we can support him as much as possible. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm rooting for the guy, of course, of course.
Yeah, Mondo was IE Battlegrounds. Yes.
Those are great memories from Super and Wednesday Night Fights. I highly agree with you. In fact, I was just thinking of the time when Mondo first streamed there, or at least the first time that I streamed with him or commentated for him streaming there, and he was so nervous.
Mondo, what? Oh, yeah. I don't even remember that. Okay,
yeah, he felt like he had reached the big time, and he was like so nervous that it wasn't going to work out. You know, it did. It was great. And yeah, that
the
was
Kickstarter thing was
30
also
years ago.
Unfortunate because he used all the money. He rebuilt the arcade. I've walked into the new bathroom. I'd never gone into the old bathroom before because I just don't do it.
The old location.
Yeah, at the old location.
Yeah.
And then when he redid it, I walked in there and it was beautiful. It was clean and everything like that. And he definitely had the stage all set up. He built all the little tables and stuff for everybody to play on. And then the landlord was like, "Ha, now I'll raise your rent because you're locked into this."
He was not trying to like welch on the Kickstarter or anything.
He didn't run away with the money
Definitely
or anything
not.
like
Nope.
that. Yeah.
Just a crappy situation.
Absolutely. So it's just really unfortunate. Okay. Anything else that you have to say or anything like that?
Amnesty International said foreign travelers shouldn't come to the United States because of the risk of being murdered by a gun murderer.
Really?
Yeah. Amnesty International put out a bulletin saying don't travel to the U.S.
Jesus, okay. I do want to throw out one more thing here, I guess.
Oh, of course. This is a good thing. I'm glad you remember this.
If you guys can, one of the really old school guys in Southern California named Rob Ingram, a.k.a. Calishan. I used to always joke that he was one of Vi's like Backstreet Boys because it was like Vi would roll into an arcade with Rob Ingram and shoot, I just had the name of it, Don Snedden. And they would just walk in there and like they would be all like, you know, coming in there and everything, and they would just like beat everybody, take their money and leave and everything like that. Well, he's had some health issues, and just a couple of weeks ago he was diagnosed with a very rare blood cancer called polycythemia vera, I guess. And he's in a really, really terrible situation right now. And he's the sole provider for his family of 4 with his 2 young daughters who are 5 and 18 months old.
Wow.
And his wife as well. And he's in a terrible situation. I mean, he just had a crazy health scare even a couple of years ago, which people also helped fund his Kickstarter. GoFundMe as well. And obviously this is not some... I mean, he's just one of those guys who's been unlucky. He's just dealt one of these bad health issues. Literally, if you do a search for Rob Ingram, you'll see the old one in this GoFundMe. And I bring that up because I don't want people going in there thinking, oh, this guy's just scamming people with GoFundMes and stuff like that. But if you do want to support him, just make sure you go to GoFundMe, do a search for Rob Ingram. Again, that's INGRIM. And you'll be able to see that over there, and just find the one for his cancer fund and see if you could help him. He's at $5,000 out of a $20,000 goal. Anything can help, obviously. So again, he's been in the scene for so long. He's been there for the longest of time. I played him a bunch in Alpha 3, and in the he named himself Cali Sean after Sean because he was one of the stronger Sean players when Third Strike first came out. But I had been playing him in these games long before that. You know, he's been in the scene forever. He used to play Mean Rolento in Alpha 3.
Okay.
Yeah, he had like an X Rolento and stuff like that. So it's an unfortunate situation. And again, in the chat, someone says it exactly right. This is America, so like health insurance is not going to cover this kind of thing, you know. And he can't work. He literally can't work, so he's not earning any money to help pay for this. And he's trapped in the hospital. I heard he's like really terrified and stuff like that right now. Of course. So, you know, if we can help him out, again, just go to GoFundMe, do a search for Rob Ingram, and you'll be able to see that. Make sure you find the one that's listed as the cancer fund. So, Yeah, the provider's out of network. That's right, because the hospital he was in couldn't figure out what was wrong. And so they transferred him to another hospital where the doctor could figure out what he's wrong. But that hospital was not in network. So his health insurance won't cover it. So he has health insurance, but because of the way health insurance works, he just can't. He can't pay for it with his health insurance because it's the wrong hospital. Because the other hospital couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. That's the situation here.
It's just disgusting.
That is how our health insurance works in this country right now.
It's just disgusting.
It's stupid. It is like. I get so mad when I think about health insurance stuff here.
Imagine being one of the human beings who makes that choice.
I know, right?
Imagine being that human being's son.
That's what I've always said.
How could you? How could you?
If you were the person who came up with the deductible, you are the most vile human on the planet, because basically you're forcing everybody to bet on their health. That's all a deductible is.
Well, that's what insurance is in general,
right.
But we could all bet on each other's health.
Right, exactly.
So my dad is a physician and my mom's a nurse, and they run a business where they have their own thing. And so they're constantly battling with the insurance companies to get paid. So it's not just that the patients have a terrible time with the insurance. It's also that when the doctors go to the insurance to get paid, the insurance will just drag their feet forever.
Right, yeah.
So the point is that they're not in the business of healthcare. They're in the business of making money. And for them, it just happens to be that the thing that makes them money is the widget known as healthcare. It could have been the widget known as a cell phone. I mean, it's exactly the same mindset.
Right.
There's no additional concern involved. And if they could not pay, that means that they get to keep money, which is the point.
So they just drag it out.
So they drag it up.
Yeah.
So there's all these costs associated with this. It's not just, it's terrible that something like this can happen with Rob. But there's also all this back end stuff that's the whole system is so badly made if it's to do anything other than just to make a lot of money for the people at the top. That's it.
Right.
Gross. Well, I wish Rob the best.
Yeah, I hope he can take care of himself. And again, through no fault of his own, he's stuck in a situation where his insurance can't cover his own health care. So, GoFundMe, and even the CEO of GoFundMe said, we are the best healthcare out there right now.
Yep.
And he says he doesn't want it to be.
I know. I've heard
because
the same.
he's like, if I am the best healthcare right now, that means our healthcare system sucks. He's like, I did not create the site to be a replacement for healthcare. Right. He was for projects and like cool, or like, this house caught on fire. Let's help these people.
I mean, some occasional disaster.
Right. It wasn't supposed to be the health insurance plan for the country, but that's what it's become. And he's not happy with it because that means there's a flaw with the health system. So, anyways, okay.
Gross.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, that was all SF League and fighting game news. I forgot to change the topic, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to add?
Did you want to address the guns and video games thing?
We've gone too long. Yeah.
I think it's just a dumb distraction. It doesn't matter.
Dude, them blaming it again. And Walmart freaking took away ads for video games. And NBC or ABC or whatever is canceling their Fortnite or Apex Legends broadcast because supposedly video games are causing gun violence. Didn't we do this like 50 years ago or something like that?
It was actually almost 30 years ago.
Dude, I know. Almost. I almost said 30 and I had to switch it to 50 to exaggerate it.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right. But it really is almost 30.
God, didn't we
And then it happened again in the mid-zeros. I don't know when it happens. Maybe it's literally only when people have died off. I don't know.
It's the worst part about it is because, like I said, they're just scapegoating everything that they can so that they don't... I mean, like, how is it you say, video games are the problem? Okay, boom, video games are gone. Guns are the problem. Well, maybe they're not. It's just and then mental health, right? I said it on Twitter. Like, the reason why they blame mental health is because mental health is never going to go away. There's no solving it. And so if you keep blaming it, it's the permanent scapegoat.
Yeah.
You can't ever get rid of it. And so you'll always have that scapegoat for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Because mental health is just going to always be there. We can do better and actually have healthcare where people can seek solutions to their mental health.
The people who talk about mental health don't want solutions to mental health. I'm not after that. That's not the point of the
but like that's just the whole thing.
It's
just
a scapegoat, like you said.
Right. It's an easy scapegoat because there's anyone can disprove it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's easy to disprove, right? But it's something that is easy to point to and make people scared about. That's all.
And you can't fix it, right? Let's just say somehow they banned video games and it still keeps happening.
Sure would.
Then they can't blame video games anymore, right? But mental health will never go away, right? Yeah. You can't ban mental health.
No,
so it's the permanent scapegoat. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, obviously in terms of if you're looking for the real causes of this stuff, it's not even worth looking at video games. I'm trying not to engage in it. I think it's so vapid and dumb that I don't want to give it the credence of an argument. It's not worth that.
Right.
It's clearly absurd. I mean, I've talked about this before, but I think if you're somebody who really believes in a strong, expansive, individual right interpretation of the Second Amendment, you have to accept that your philosophy entails a huge amount of death. It's a death philosophy. And maybe for you that's worth it. I don't know, I'm not you. For me it's certainly not. But you have to grapple with that fact that this is an ideology that includes in it people dying. And you have to, I think, include now, if you're going to be reasonable about it, the idea that a lot of that is also bound up with white supremacy and a long history of very terrible things happening. Is that the kind of thing you want to hang around? I don't know. And I don't think this is like a silly attack. That's there in a fundamental way that's been bound up forever. The death is on you. Yes, you support something that includes death. Now, obviously, the intention of believing in the Second Amendment is not for death. You're not sympathetic. Understand, but also along with that comes death. That's the result.
Right.
That's what it is. I mean, there's no other. That's the best differentiation between the U.S. and the many other countries in the world that we can compare ourselves to. It's always a little bit difficult to compare one country to another because there's any number of things. There's too many variables to be for sure. But in this case, you can look at every other variable and we don't have we have guns, we have deaths, I should say, regardless. The thing that jumps out is the guns. And it's the guns. It's not the culture, and it's not
because
mental
everybody
health,
always has the same thing. Like, okay, then ban cars, right? You still need a license to get a car. You have way more liability on tracking who owns a car. Bars are not allowed to serve you alcohol when you're like inebriated to the point where you can't drive anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's illegal to drive. If you're driving drunk, you can be arrested. Like, everything is in place to stop it. You know
Definitely,
what I mean?
and we have taken a big bite out of that for sure. I mean, they're tightly regulated. The amount of people who die per capita from cars is way smaller now than it used to be in the past. It used to be that there were steering wheels that could literally impale you. They had things that would come out of the steering wheel. You would literally die from a simple car accident. Well, obviously that needed to be regulated. Of course,
right?
And yet with guns there can be no regulation. The point of bringing up the multiple variables is that this is such a singular case because in general it's hard to be certain about why things happen country to country because there are lots of variables. But in this case, you can so narrow the variables down to one. So it's worth bringing up because it's so unique. There's very few other things in life where you can compare countries side by side and just be like, well, but this one has way more guns, absurdly more guns, and guess what? It has way more gun deaths. It's not just about the mass shootings. I think there's probably other reasons for that, like violent ideology and stuff. But on top of that, there's all sorts of everyday gun deaths. There are people who die accidentally all the time. There are people who shoot small numbers of people and they don't count it as mass death statistics. There's tens of thousands of deaths because of this philosophy. You know, when cars came out, there were people who didn't want cars regulated. They thought that it was against their rights to regulate cars. It sounds so absurd now. But
because then people got hit by cars like constantly,
all the time. Because roads had only ever been places where people walked and horses walked, and that was it forever until cars. And so there was a huge initial backlash at the idea of regulating cars and making strong traffic laws and that kind of thing. And so, yeah, thousands of people died. Thousands. And there were people who would say, well, don't trample on my rights to do what I want with my car. It sounds so absurd now. Absurd. And yet 100 years ago, that's what was happening. I hope that will be the same for guns. But I'm not sure because that lobby is very strong.
Right. Yeah.
30 years ago, the idea of the individual right to own a gun was absurd. It was literally in the 80s that became mainstream.
Yep.
So recent. But they have great marketing. I have to give them that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, doctors used to recommend cigarettes for sure. We've done a lot of pretty dumb things in retrospect that, maybe we just didn't know. But now we know. Unfortunately, we can't study it more because the federal government is literally prevented by law from investigating the health and guns link. Mm-hmm. There's a federal law that actually bars that.
Really?
Yes. It was literally a law. They are so concerned about people finding out what the results would be.
Correlation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually a law. Yeah, I mean, what I expect is that people won't change their minds about this. Right. I think it's probably not... Like, the classic tweet is perfect for it. If you're cool with a bunch of little 5- and 6-year-olds getting murdered, you're just not going to change your mind about guns. It's just... I'm not going to be able to be the one to do it. Mm-hmm. That's beyond my power. I'm not... If that doesn't get you, I don't know. But I hope that at least you're willing to accept that is due to your philosophy. That while not intentionally being the outcome, it is nevertheless a very visible outcome of the idea that you should have this expansive individual right for a gun. Yeah, I don't expect to change minds, man. I mean, yeah, if you're cool with little kids getting killed and you don't feel like you're a problem, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's tough.
All right. Okay. Well, obviously, not everyone's going to agree.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Chat is kind of going crazy about it or whatever like that. And,
yeah, no.
Don't want to... I mean, I do want to bring it up. I do want people to be aware of this, and I wish we could change people's minds, but I just don't think it's going to happen because, I mean, how silly does it feel like when, they're blaming video games on it, and when you're a video game player, like, it's the stupidest thing in the world, right? I mean, it's just like you'll be more outraged that video games are being blamed than you will that gun owners are shooting up schools. You know what I mean? Like, there's kind of a weird...
I mean, I think that people would say that they're outraged at people using guns in that way. Again, I don't want to say that you want people to shoot up stuff. Of course not. Mm-hmm. Of course, you'd be outraged about that. But that's just an inherent part of guns being everywhere.
Right.
It's just part of it.
Right. Okay.
That sucks.
Well,
I don't think it's useful to say things like who's a good and bad person, but a philosophy that contemplates death so strongly, I don't like it. I think evil and good is not worth talking about, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally, I don't care about that.
Just really, really sad that...
No, not good and evil. I think that I think my philosophy means less death, which I prefer. So subjectively, I prefer that. I'm not going to get into heaven and hell. I'm not interested in that stuff. All right.
Okay. Anyways, like I said, people are mad and angry about it. Again, you know what you're getting into when you come and watch our show.
There's nothing to be done about it, man. We'll have guns forever. I mean, the older I get, the more I have this wild mix of positive, sort of leftist progressive agenda, plus like a fatalist Ragnarok outlook,
dude,
on life.
I mean, you don't want to get me started on fatalist outlook. I mean, I kind of talked about that when I talked about healthcare before. I kind of talked about that's kind of how I feel about my finances right now and all this stuff like that. It's just at this point in time, like sometimes I just feel like it's like I don't. It doesn't even feel worth it being around anymore. Sometimes, you know.
I don't mean fatalistic in the negative sense in that way. I mean in terms of the outcome of politics.
Right.
I mean that I think that I expect it not to go well.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it won't go well. But also, I still have to play my role in the same way that the gods in Ragnarok know that they're going to die, but they have to fight.
Right.
It's just how it is, and I have to have positions, and they're going to lose. But that's what I have to do.
I mean, actually, I really considered moving to Canada many times.
Not easy.
Many times.
Yeah.
Many times. Trust me.
Yeah, the hashtag is appropriate, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right.
All right. Any good news you want to talk about before we go, or anything like that? Anything you want to?
I made great food the other night. It was soba noodles and peanut sauce and tofu and carrots and scallions, and it was great.
Yeah. Okay.
Jury duty was fine. I didn't actually get selected for the jury.
Which you're disappointed about.
I am disappointed about. The way that they did it was that they had 55 people, and each one of us was just randomly given a number. And in that order, we were interviewed. I was number 53.
Right.
So they would have to have gone through the entire jury pool to get to me, which is just, it wasn't going to happen. But it was a very interesting process, and I had to show up there for a day and a half to watch the selection process. Mm-hmm. So that was cool. Edifying.
So you've never actually been on a jury before, right?
No, I think it's unlikely that I will be. There were 2 other lawyers who happened to also be in it.
That's right. Yeah,
and they got busted.
Okay.
They got kicked out of the jury pool.
I mean, that seems weird. Shouldn't you want to put more lawyers onto the jury pool?
You want people who are pliable.
Right, exactly. People that's just
you
what
can
it
tell
is,
what
right?
to think.
I mean, like I said, my brother actually did get to the interview process.
Right.
And he was like, this would be interesting if I got on here. I think he
Right.
eventually did get on one, but like the one that he went to one time, it was just like, I will do my best job, I'll be fair, and logical, and they were like, all right, thank you, you're dismissed.
Yeah. It wasn't that absurd for this jury selection, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
At one point, the prosecutor he kept interviewing people, right? That's what you do. And each one would be like, how you doing this morning? And they'd be like, I should have gone to work.
Right.
Or like,
I'm mad, or that I'm not.
I wish I wasn't here. I mean, they weren't that explicit about it, but they were like, not stoked to be there. And then eventually he was like, I'm hearing a lot of people wish that they weren't here. Does anybody wish that glad that you're here today? Mm-hmm. And I was like, ooh, right up here. I did the whole hand waving thing.
It's like I joke. I think you told us that, and I was like, you're Hermione, dude, in class. You're like,
yeah, I was all happy to be there. Yeah. People looked at me. What are you doing?
Everyone was just like, this guy.
Yeah. One other guy then timidly raised his hand, and he didn't get selected either.
Oh, you slow clapped him, dude. Nice. Okay. Oh, man.
Alrighty.
What are you doing, Jasmine? Alright, I'm going to feed some cats, so.
Cool.
Alright.
Thanks for hanging out, everybody.
Guys,
sorry I went 8 hours.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, that was unexpected, so.
Yeah.
Oh, bird. That's right.
Oh, yeah, bird.
I almost forgot the bird. Bird is the word.
Good night.
My hard drive is spinning up.
The defense and prosecution do have to agree. Correct.
Yes. And that's always the trickiest part, right? So.
Ooh, bird.
4-hour show, dude. Kind of long. Did we used to go 4 hours? Some people are saying like our old shows used to go 4 hours.
Did they?
I don't remember now.
So long ago now.
Did we really do 7:30 to like 11:30? I guess we kind of did.
We did do that sometimes. Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Have a good night.
All right, everybody. Add me at Fart Pimpson.
On Tepin. Oh God.